Welcome back to No Rhyme, No Reason. I'm your host, Aaron Bergeron, and once again, I'm joined by my co-host, Popeye.
Hey, everyone.
And Ernesto.
Yellow.
Okay, so last week we did movies, and it was really well received. So we're going to continue with that trend and move on to our TV shows. We're going to go over our top 3 TV shows, and then one show that we hate, and each of our guilty pleasure shows. And for anybody worried about us falling into a pattern, we've got some different stuff planned for the next few weeks. So hopefully next week we might even have our first guest. But for now, let's just move on to some TV shows. And how about Popeye starts us off this week?
I am basing this off of purely shows that I am able to watch again and still enjoy. So number 1 would be The Office. I love that Michael Scott is just a perfect character all around, just of how awkward he is. And then like the back and forth with Jim and Dwight is always great. So in the later episodes after Michael left, I don't know. I mean, I still liked it, but it kind of got weird. What about, have you guys watched The Office at all?
Of course. Of course.
I feel like that's a very asinine question. I feel like everyone on planet Earth has either seen some clip or some portion of The Office at some point in their life, unless, they hide from technology.
Yeah, it's an amazing show. There's not many bad things you can say about it. It's perfect.
There's really none. There's almost zero. It's
It's a great top show.
Front runner for like one of the best shows ever made.
For sure.
In the history of time. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely agree. My second one, definitely a big favorite of mine, would be Avatar: The Last Airbender. Great Nickelodeon show. I'm super excited that the original creators are doing the live action one through Netflix. Excited about that. I never watched the movie because I didn't want it to ruin
it would have ruined it.
any look on my TV show or on the TV show for me. So, yeah, definitely love Avatar: The Last Airbender. Just a great story, all in all.
See, that's why I didn't watch Pacific Rim 2, because I knew it would ruin Pacific Rim 1. Avatar. Yeah, I feel like, the movie did it no justice whatsoever. The show, I watched it all the time. Love that show. And also, I am too excited about the Netflix adaptation of it.
It should be good. We'll see where it goes. I did not watch the entire series, but I watched a lot of it, and it was good from what I saw. I should finish it.
You should finish it.
It closes, like a lot of shows sometimes, they don't really close well. This one just closes well. Yeah, and so my third show, what I was thinking, I love anime. Avatar, I guess it is an anime, but I don't know. It was just through Nickelodeon, but my favorite anime of all time would be Full Metal Alchemist, Brotherhood. I don't know if you guys watch anime at all.
Not at all.
No. I like it because they usually have really good stories, and Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood is a terrific story. Love it. I recommend it to anybody who is willing to watch it. So, kind of a slow start, but it gets better throughout. But yeah, that's my top 3.
I'll take your word for it.
A solid top 3. Ernesto be with you. I give you my blessing on that top 3.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Once again, very important aspect of both of our lives is getting Ernesto's blessing.
Yes.
All right. So Wayne, I guess that takes it over to you. What you got for us?
So I'll start off with Brooklyn Nine-Nine, which is an ongoing police comedy. It's hilarious. It stars Andy Samberg. I'm currently actually rewatching the whole series right now, and it just reminds me how it's perfect cast. The comedy is hilarious. It's by Michael Schur, who wrote The Office and Parks and Recreation, which are both amazing shows. Yeah, he just does really good work, and I think right now it got canceled on Fox, and it's being picked up by NBC, and I know it's not finished, but I definitely think it's going to be a top 3 for me. It's so funny.
It is.
The cast is just perfect. Gina Linetti is possibly one of my favorite characters of all time.
Yeah. No, I mean that's what I was gonna say. The thing that probably stands out the most to me about Brooklyn Nine Nine is just the cast. Like it's just
They're all
a
perfect.
zany cast who meshed together so well that it makes no sense.
I have not seen this show. I've heard nothing but great things about it. I really want to watch it, so definitely in the future for me to watch that show. So
Absolutely. So for my second show, I'm gonna sort of cheat and do a couple shows all at once, but it's gonna be the Daily Show with Jon Stewart, and then basically all the shows that have spun off from it. Political satire is like my favorite comedy, possibly, and Jon Stewart revolutionized that genre. Basically, for anyone who doesn't know, it's a talk show about current events, and he basically holds a mirror up to them and says, like, "You guys are ridiculous." Pointing out hypocrisy is what he's done. I've read all of his books. Like, Jon Stewart was a genius, and Stephen Colbert and Steve Carell and Ed Helms, like, they all spun off from that show, and it's just an amazing cast that he went through and talent that he found. Like, I watched, the Late Show with Stephen Colbert now, and Last Week Tonight with John Oliver. It's just they all do a really great job, and it's all because of him, basically, that they have the format that they do now. So, yeah, I still think to this day Stephen Colbert is arguably the best interviewer of all time. It's crazy.
That's a strong statement.
I think it's the truth. I mean, it's him interviewing on late night, watching him versus somebody like Jimmy Fallon is like night and day. Like,
oh yeah,
well, I mean that's Jimmy Fallon. That's it's completely different. Like nothing Jimmy Fallon does can be even mistaken for serious.
But you got to ask tough questions in these day and ages. He still makes it funny. He makes it engaging.
He does. Yeah, he
It's
does.
not just laugh at everything they say.
Well, that's what he's like more of a smart, sarcastic humor, and Jimmy Fallon's just funny, and I laugh at my own jokes humor.
No, Jimmy Fallon has the best bits. Like, some of his stuff is hilarious.
He does. Yeah. He has the best sketches, segments, sketches, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, they're really good. Very viral. I watch a lot of them. Third show, hopefully I'm going to try and surprise both of you again this week with my final pick, and that is going to be Blue Planet, which is a nature documentary series about the ocean. I don't know, they're super relaxing, and they're incredible to watch in like high definition 4K. I love Planet Earth too, but I've always been fascinated by the ocean. It's somehow both beautiful and terrifying. But yeah, if you ever want to kick back and relax, or maybe learn something about the big blue, I would highly recommend it.
I think it's crazy to think that we know more about outer space than we do our own oceans. I think that's just crazy to even like think about.
That's insane. I wouldn't have guessed that one. You definitely threw me for a ringer.
What do you got? Well, first I need your blessing.
Yeah, I mean it's Stephen Colbert, and like you said, everything that's spun off of it, great stuff. Brooklyn Nine Nine, alone is worthy of a blessing. And Blue Planet, was it?
Yes, I'm glad you're a big fan.
I knew there was a blue in there. I just didn't know what else was involved in the title. That's how far off that was for me. No, I mean that's you have my blessing on those three.
Perfect. That's all I care about. All right, now I'm ready to hear Ernesto's. This should be good.
Okay, so number one, as everyone knows, I am a real estate agent down here in Florida, and getting into this when you turn real estate into a career, it's something that's so much involved in everything you do on a daily basis. Your entire life could easily become your career. So I really have taken a liking to $1 Million Listing. It's just it's like once you go into a sport, just watching that sport. That's all it is. So just seeing deals come together and seeing like how I would try to sell something differently, or picking up on little nuances or little things that some of the top brokers in the country do differently than I do. It's educational and entertaining at the same time. It can't get much better than that. So that's number one.
All right.
I don't know if either of you have seen $1 Million Listing. I don't know why you would.
How similar is it to House Hunters? Because that is the only show that I've ever seen in the real estate industry.
So the house hunters is from the perspective of the clients. $1 Million Listing is from the perspective of the broker, of the agent.
That sounds fun.
Jesse and I like to watch Fixer Upper.
Fixer Upper is a good one. Fixer Upper is a good one. All those Reno shows, like you can easily just get lost in hours of HGTV.
I know, it's crazy.
It really is. So no, I mean that's what it is, and it's cool. If you guys ever want to see basically what I do on a daily basis, you could click in, watch that show.
I'll remember that.
And then whenever they bring it down to Florida, I might as well just jump in and star on it.
How do we make that happen?
And then you guys will have to watch it. I think they did one in Miami, so I think the market just coming up here, and if our market here kind of gets really hot and becomes one of the top ones in the country, which it already is. It's in the the top 10, but if it breaks up in the top 1, 2, 3 and things just go crazy, it might attract that kind of light.
All right, we'll get to it.
We'll have to look up how to get you a leg up, who we need to talk to, find out who we need to talk to get this thing going.
They do live casting, so they do auditions.
You're telling me there's a chance?
You got a shot.
So as long as I'm entertaining, which I am, and I actually sell real estate, which I do, I got a shot. It's coming. It's on the horizon. Anyways, on to show number 2, Bar Rescue with John Tafford. And so I like this show. Like I've always, before I got into real estate, like many moons ago, I actually wanted to, open a restaurant, and be a chef and cook and all these things, and just kind of, and even, one of the things that I want to do down the line here is open a bar, run a bar, and, have some ownership in something like that. So just seeing kind of, how John Tafford comes in and kind of sees what's going wrong with these locations that they have the best client base, they have all the potential in the world, but it's just how they're run, or what their decor is like, or what they're serving, or just these little things. And he comes in and kind of dissects it, comes in, shows everyone what to do, and brings it up like 10 levels. It's just really cool to see that transformation. And also, like, he flips out on people, which is awesome. I love watching people yell at other people.
It is a good show. It's very similar to Restaurant Impossible.
It is.
On the Food Network.
It is. Very similar. Which is also, I like that show with Robert Irvine as well. But they haven't, did they stop doing that? Are they still doing that one?
They are not. I think they have another one with somebody else, but Robert Irvine really made the show. Okay.
There's a spin-off. But yeah, so I mean that was one of my favorite shows. Hasn't been around for a while, but Bar Rescue, they're still going. And it's some cool stuff, man. It's some cool shit. Love it's definitely something I'm looking forward to down the line here, is seeing what avenue I can take that down. So I don't know if that phraseology made sense. It doesn't sound like it did. Anyways. And that brings me on my number 1 show, and it's the greatest show ever made, and is the greatest show on planet Earth, and that's Game of Thrones. And if you haven't seen Game of Thrones, you need to watch Game of Thrones. My favorite time period ever is the medieval time period, with like swords and axes and if we're talking fantasy dragons and shit. And that's exactly what's in Game of Thrones. And like, so precursor, I'd never seen Game of Thrones until this last season that passed.
What?
I'd never seen it. And so, actually it may have been season 6. Did season 7 just pass?
I don't honestly know.
I believe so. So season 7 that just passed. Season 6 was the one where I jumped in, and so I had that was the year I had broken my foot, and I was couldn't get out of bed. So I got a free month of HBO Now or HBO Go or whatever their streaming service is called, and Game of Thrones was on there. And so this is when season 6 was going. I forget what episode. I think it's like episode 10 or something. It is Battle of the Bastards.
Yep.
And so it started. I think 4 episodes back from Battle of the Bastards, and by the time that episode came on, I had watched the entire season, the entire series up to Battle of the Bastards.
That is a lot of TV.
That is a lot of TV. So I watched like the entire series up until an episode in like 4 weeks, and that is the definition of binge watching. But it really is like it's so story driven and it's so in depth, and there's always like twists and turns, and people get killed off of television all the time, and people joke around like no one's safe, but in the end, like there are characters that are safe on other TV shows. In Game of Thrones, no one is safe except for Jon Snow. He's kind of safe because he gets brought back to life multiple times. Spoiler alerts, but no one's safe. And it's, I wouldn't be Ernesto if I didn't bring up all the fact that there's naked chicks everywhere, which is also a huge plus. And that's about it. And Peter Dinklage, fantastic, great actor.
Yeah, he's awesome.
So yeah, that's about it. Game of Thrones, like 5 stars. Game of Thrones, 10 stars. Game of Thrones out of 5 stars.
Wow.
Go watch Game of Thrones. That's about it. That's all I got.
That's a good show. That's a good one to end on. It's very good. I don't know if it'll ever end, or I don't know if we'll ever get another season, but
he's quote unquote he's the writer. I'm spacing on his name right now.
George R.R. Martin?
Yes, he has said that it could go on like forever, is basically what I said.
He also said his next book would have released like 4 years ago, so I don't trust that man.
Well, listen, I mean, it's just maybe it didn't release because he's working on more Game of Thrones.
Maybe.
That's my guess.
Possibly. The books are called Game of Thrones, right? They're all based on these books,
I understand that,
right?
but he's made more money from the TV adaptation, so just focusing on that.
Okay. So how about we move on to some shows that we hate?
Yes.
Just one.
So hate that other people love. Are we doing unpopular opinions?
Sure. Yeah.
I could just, because I could just go off on like shows that, like I hate The Bachelor.
Me too. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
But it's because I'm a man. So unpopular opinion, shows that I hate that other people love. You know what it was? I mean, it's not going on anymore. I did not like Lost.
Oh, that's a great pick. I did not like that show either.
Lost was like this huge phenomena. I watched a couple episodes. It never took. Like I never
picked up on it. Never understood why.
But I mean, a more recent. I mean, I'll leave it up to you guys. I mean, I could the other like the more recent one was it was actually Breaking Bad.
Really?
It's not like I didn't. It's not like I hated Breaking Bad. I just never. It's it was whatever. Everyone was going crazy about it. It was when I was living up in Orlando, and they would all watch it like every week, and I just didn't. I didn't give a shit about it. So those are mine. I kind of gave you 2: Lost and Breaking Bad. 2 huge cult shows, and I couldn't care less about them.
All right, Popeye, you got anything to say?
I only have one that I could really think of. The Walking Dead. I watched the first season. I was like, yeah, I'll stop here. Never really got the motivation to watch the other seasons, so I know Ernesto's pretty big in it.
I mean, I watched it outside of the second half of season 2. I've watched all of it. Up until I think this past season, I kind of fell out just because I got busy with shit, and that's when I got more into football, and I'm watching Sunday Night Football, and then that ends, a little bit after The Walking Dead. So, pick your poison there. But I was really big into it. But I can see where you're coming from, because a lot of it is just like their episodes drag.
It's the same thing over and over and over again.
Someone put up like a plot line of every Walking Dead episode, and it was like picking up off last week, surprise zombie attack, everyone gets away, and then this huge gray area, and it's like a bunch of empty space where nothing really happens, but at the same time people are doing things. The very last like little tidbit is like huge cliffhanger that you have to watch next week to see what happens. Like that's it. That was every Walking Dead episode, and it's very true. Like I can, maybe 4, 5, 6 really stand out as like really like blockbuster episodes that were not like that, but that's about it. Wayne, do you watch The Walking Dead? Have you ever watched The Walking Dead?
I do not. I always assumed that I would not like it. Sounds like I was correct.
Yeah.
Yes, you'd be correct.
You weren't really missing anything, I don't think.
Like I don't like passing judgment on things I haven't seen, so
that's my favorite thing to do.
That sounds right. So one of the few shows that I've watched and I absolutely hate it is The Gilmore Girls, and because people that I know watch that show, and it's weird. The reason that I hate that show is because the talking is just so unnatural. Like someone will stop talking and the other person is already starting talking. It's just so quick, and if you've never noticed it or watched it, you will never not be able to notice it. But it's not just Rory and Lorelai; it's everyone in the show. They just end after the other person talks. It pisses me off so much.
Like my mom loved that show. Like that was my mom's shit back in the day, and I could never get over just how like before Kristen, like the big joke about Kristen Stewart is that she's emotionless. Like before Kristen Stewart was a thing, Rory is the most emotionless human being that I've ever seen. Like it's just straight face for everything. Like Lorelai could be dying on like her deathbed, and like Rory's just like straight face, something Dean, something whoever the hell the other dude was. Like, oh, I gotta get down to the coffee shop or some bullshit. Like, just emotionless.
I will say the only thing about that show that I liked was like the quaint little town that they lived in. That was like the only thing that.
Didn't you like the town?
Because, like you said, it's just like back and forth.
If I had been in that town, it would have been the ending to Hot Fuzz. That's what would have happened.
Yeah.
All right. Let's push forward and wrap this up with each of our guilty pleasure shows. Do you want to start, Ernesto?
Yeah, I'll start. This is an easy one for me. And it's New Girl. After I got through How I Met Your Mother and whatnot, I think I was talking to some chick, and she told me her favorite show is New Girl. So I watched it. I don't know if either of you have ever watched it.
Oh, yeah, it's great.
It's fantastic. I love that show. So, I mean, that would have to be my guilty pleasure. It's not really that, that bad, but I assimilate very well to all those characters. I love Zoe Deschanel. Cece is incredibly hot. So, I mean, those are all my things. Hilarious. Yeah, that's my guilty pleasure. New Girl. What about you, Wayne?
I'm going to go with The Great British Bake Off.
I didn't even know this was a show.
It's a bunch of amateur bakers in Great Britain, and they compete on like a baking show, which, I mean, there's tons of like cooking shows like Iron Chef and stuff like that. But one gets eliminated each week. Last one standing wins. But I think the reason I like it is because there's no prize. Like there's no money. They just get like a little trophy. So it's like, it's more wholesome. They're just competing because they want to be the best baker. Cooking shows in general are probably guilty pleasures. People hate on like Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives and like Guys Grocery Games.
Guy Fieri, he's my man.
I love Triple D. Anyways, back to this British thing. So two things. Them just winning trophies at the end, little trophies, is the most British thing I've ever heard in my life.
I'm not honestly sure that it's a trophy, but I think they get like a bouquet of flowers and like...
That's even infinitely more British. And then B, like... Is this on like cable? Do you have to stream this online or is it on PBS?
It's on Netflix. I've seen all 5 seasons of it, so...
There's 5 seasons of it?
Yeah, get with the program, guys. Let's go.
This is the craziest thing I've ever heard. First Blue Planet.
I want you guys to watch it, and you just... By next week, you'll have binged it, and it's the greatest show you both have ever seen.
Like, is there commentary?
There is commentary. It's hilarious.
Are they British?
Yeah, which makes it even more hilarious.
That's fantastic. I'm going to stream it right after this.
Yeah, I want to go check it out.
I won't spoil who wins each season. I'll let you...
I don't even care. I just want to hear the commentary. Okay. Game changer right there. Popeye, what you got?
Actually, I have 2. The first one is One Punch Man. It's an anime, but I highly recommend people watching it because it's a satire of the conventional fighting, like Dragon Ball Z or Bleach, if you've watched that. They totally make fun of it, and the animation is just incredible. So super hilarious, super funny. And then this is more of a guilty pleasure, I would say, but the second one is Murder She Wrote.
What?
That is
Yeah,
quite the surprise.
Exactly. I love some Murder She Wrote.
That lady's dead, right?
Yeah. No.
Like my grandma used that would like how Gilmore Girls was mom shit. Murder She Wrote was my grandma's shit. So you and my grandma have the same taste.
Dude, she would get in these predicaments. I mean, she's
writing about murder.
1 second she's at a convention for writing books, and then the next thing you know, there's a fucking murder on the scene. And she's there, and she's always at these like predicaments. So I just think it's awesome. And she always solves the case. So
Okay, well, actually, so to go back to One Punch Man, you kind of downplayed it because that is the only like anime that I've watched outside of Dragon Ball Z. Wayne, have you ever like seen anything from One Punch Man?
Have you ever seen it?
No.
It's hilarious.
It is like it's super funny because he's just so the thing about him is he can like kill you with one punch, and he's like invincible. There's no like fight or like challenge. It's like more of like a fly like buzzing around him. So he like mid fight he'll stop and he'll just like look up and he'll just have this scared look on his face, and it'll all of a sudden just stop and kind of freeze around him, and it'll just be like, did I turn off the oven at home? And then like kill the guy and then run back to his house. Like it's just stupid shit like that where it's just nonsense.
Yeah.
I'll check it out.
Where he doesn't really take it seriously because he knows he's strong.
So, so One Punch Man is funny. I'll give you that one. That one's hilarious. Yeah, that's a sleeper.
The fight scenes are just incredible. You would think that by him killing everything with one punch, it would be kind of boring. No, they absolutely make up the fight scenes are just incredible.
Yeah, they really are.
I'll check it out. Sounds good.
So that's all you need to know about our TV shows.
All right, this is another great episode.
Another great episode. Just a quick shout out. We are on social media. We have our Instagram up and running at official No Rhyme No Reason. Please go like, share, follow. And then we also have our website, norhymenoriason.com, where you can find all of our content and upcoming episodes that we are going to put out there.
All right, good stuff. We will catch you guys next week. Later.
Later.
Later.